Another powerful feature of the Enterprise File Fabric is our ability to tag and search data. So within your environment, as you add these multiple pools of storage, as we discussed, the Enterprise File Fabric allows you to have a single pane of glass for your end users to see all that data in all the different folders throughout those different pools of data providers that you have. But you can imagine as your organization grows and you have more and more pools of storage available and more data being stored, just having a single place to go and see that is not as useful as being able to quickly go and find the items that you're looking for from a search perspective. So the Enterprise File Fabric provides two different ways that we can search and return results based on the data. So the first is from a tagging system. So if we think back and go back and look at any of these items here, so let's take a look at this title and chart. Right, within my info, we've got metadata associated with this file. So obviously the standard metadata is stored within here, so things like the file name, the size, the owners, the access dates, things like that. But we have the ability to add manually custom attributes to this in the form of tags. Right, so I can right-click this and I go to tags. Now I'm able to go and add additional tags. We've got some here that I already used, so we can say, yep, this is already part of my EFF, but this is also a presentation. Right, so we can add a new tag for this called presentation. So now we've got two tags associated with this file, and we'll see those updated right here. So now once the data is tagged, it's very easy as a user of the system to be able to go in and say, okay, let me find everything that matches that tag. So here in our tag system, we have a nice little tag cloud that I can click and see all the items that match that tag. So let's just click my EFF. And here we see all of the different files in the storage that I have access to, again, based on those permissions within the shared team folders, that are tagged with EFF for the Enterprise File Fabric. And as we can see, as we look at each of these, potentially they may be stored in various pools throughout the file system, whether that be on the CIF share or on my object storage or even out in the public cloud. But it gives me one single view of all the data that are tagged by that asset. Now, the other thing that we can do is do additional search based on either the names of the files or, even more useful, the content of the file itself. So let's just start with a file name search. Right, so if I come in and I say, I know somewhere we've got some customer data stored within spreadsheets, and I know the file name starts with customer. I can come with here and I click search, and there we go. I've returned back this file, and here it looks like it's in folder 2. Right, and right from within here, I can do the same sort of thing I can do right from the file browser. I can download that file, I can comment, I can create the shared links. If I right-click, I can actually even go and say Open Containing Folder, which will then drop me right into the folder where that file exists. But that's great, obviously, if I know the name of the file that I'm looking for. But what if I'm not sure what that name is? And rather, I just know some of the stuff within it. Well, here, if we change that from a file name search now to our file name, metadata, and content search, what I can do is go and say, well, I know we've got a file out here with John Doe in it. Right, so I click search. And now, obviously, without knowing the name of the file, I can now see any files that contain, in this case, John Doe. So in the spreadsheet, we've got customer data. Obviously, John Doe is a record within the spreadsheet. So all of the Office Suite documents, as well as PDFs and any text-based, so whether that be plain text files, CSV, XML files, etc., all can be ingested and indexed within our file fabric to have that quick search result returned based on the content of the file that exists within there. So there, both with the full text search of the content, we can also search based on metadata of that file, as well as the file name, and then tags. That allows you and your users of the Enterprise File Fabric to be able to quickly go and find the files that they need, regardless of where that data lives. And because all of this is backed by that file permissions that we talked about at the beginning, the users will only be able to see in their search results the files they have access to. So if a file exists that has John Doe, for example, but it's in a HR folder, because this user doesn't have access to that folder, they never see that result back. They don't even know that there's a file out there that John Doe's information could be in HR. It's completely hidden to them. But that allows your users then to quickly and easily find the data they need